Ayan na, mga kameta, kamusta naman? Nakahabol naman tayo today, kahit papaano, at least, yan, hindi naman super late. Pero of course, nauna muna yung mga classes natin, of course, yung mga graduate students natin, priorities natin. Sabi ko, bago tayo pupunta dito sa recap natin ng mga nangyayari sa mundo, guys, including mga nangyayari over the past 24 hours or so, yung mga trendings na nangyayari. As you may have noticed, both in the United Kingdom and China may manangyari. And at the same time dito sa Pilipinas ay tinatroll tayo from both sides. Alam niyo yung horseshoe theory na sinasabi yung mga from both sides ay pwede magsama-sama. Kung ikaw ay medyo sensible at medyo nasa center ka nag-argue, pwede kang ano yun yung dalawa. Kaya tawag dyan horseshoe kasi nag-meet yung dulong ganun. Medyo na horseshoe troll tayo ng mga ano, mga ano natin dyan, mga very, very brilliant friends, brilliant people. Inatak na naman tayo dyan. Honestly, thank you for the attention and all. We appreciate that. Pero, mag-produce muna kayo ng quality stuff. Hindi lang hanggang ano lang kayo. Wag lang hanggang trolling, blogging lang kayo dyan. Mag-produce kayo naman ng medyo serious works on serious publications, diba? Siyempre, for starters, shinare natin yung article natin a few years ago on Forbes magazine about whether federalism in the Philippines makes sense at all or constitutional change for that matter. You know, a very brief one. Of course, I've written extensively all around the place. And, we can go on and on about this, no? So, just for the purpose of people that were interested or hindi nila nakita dun sa link, pinost natin yan. So, kindly check, guys, ito yung pinost natin. Whether federalism makes sense in the Philippines, sa Forbes magazine yan. Please feel free to check it. I'll also put the link below. Please subscribe to my channel here on YouTube, here on Facebook, etc. Yan naman tayo. Please subscribe to my channel. So, pakitignan yan, guys. Ayan, na-analyze natin yung mga pros and cons or potentially perilous, unintended consequences kung bara-bara lang tayo pagdating sa issue ng constitutional change, etc. In fairness naman, nakita natin, yung ibang kaibigan natin dyan ay hindi na sa constitutional change, federalism mood. Yung iba sinasabi nila, relax lang natin yung foreign investment rules natin, pwede na. Ako naman, wala naman akong problema in reforming the system as long as it's not a reforming that makes the situation worse. As long as it's not a reform that is based on bara-bara sabog analysis. As long as it's not like mga blogger lang dyan ang nagsasabi sa atin na anong gagawin natin. As long as this is driven by evidence, by proper analysis, by real scholarly work, by high-level thinking, as long as ganun, wala akong problema. And as long as it weakens trapos, not strengthens them. So sometimes, baka nag-constitutional change tayo, kung ano-anong nilalagay nila dyan, baka lalong lumakas pa yung mga trapo. Or ginawa natin federal, next thing you know, yung mga ibang estado kinokontrol completely ng mga dynasties, warlords, and trapos. Yung bang gusto natin. Yan nga, law of unintended consequence. Yung iba kasi, limited lang yung, I'm not even gonna talk about, academic credentials. Konting analysis naman, konting pag-iisip naman. Anong gusto niya? Puro hanggang slogans, emotional, ek lang, pero walang sense when you really go into what they're saying. So, I really simplified a number of arguments on the charter change issue in my Forbes piece, among others. So, you can go on Google, put my name, constitutional change, many stuff comes out on just, a couple of leading outlets here and around the world, no? Now, obviously, whatever we say is based on not only training in political science, social science in university, but also in individual research and reports. And as I said, for anyone who has bothered to read, hindi yung claim to read. Because I saw like some of my trolls like saying, oh, have you read this? Like, hello, like obviously you haven't read this because that's exactly where, that's one of my biggest sources when it comes to some of the arguments I've made. So, obviously, dun sa mga medyo nag-aaral sa buhay, kung nabasa talaga nila, hindi lang yung kunyari lang ng mga post copy-paste yan. Kung nabasa nila, for instance, this fantastic book by Daron Acemoglu and James Robinson, a political scientist and economist, and also read journal articles, academic journal articles by these people, they would know that the issue here is quality of institutions, right? And sometimes, even if you change the form of government, if the quality of institutions, meaning party systems, Also, all sorts of different things. No, the quality of the economic system. No, how whether you have a strong middle class, a mobilized middle class, meron kang real political parties. Whether your state institutions per se, do they have the capacity? Do they have the autonomy? Is there patriotism? Do they have competent bureaucrats? All of these things you have to take in consideration. Then we can talk about real reform, transformative reform. So it's really about making us having inclusive institutions, which goes way beyond the simplistic, shallow level discussions on just form of governments. And for anyone who's done basic political science knows that when you talk about systems, we're not really talking about form of government alone, which is what a lot of these trolls and bloggers and experts daw are talking about. Now, obviously, there are other books that I suggest read it lang, hindi lang claiming to have read it. So these are some of the books that I've read and we checked throughout the years. Of course, Francis Fukuyama, his End of History didn't age very well, but his book on political order and political decay was very, very influential. By the way, I have the copy of these books here. Binabasa po natin yan. Nandito lahat ng mga highlights. Makikita niyo yung mga highlights dito, etc. Binabasa po namin yan. Hindi yung mga kunyari lang mga vloggers na natatawa ako doon sa mga ibang pretentious dyan. Ang gagawin lang nila, copy-paste nila yung mga kung ano ng sikat-sikat dyan. Yung sinasabi namin ay based dito. Pero wala man lang silang kahit isang matinong sinulat or public to prove that they actually read or not misappropriating. Because kung dumaan sa peer review yung sinasabi nila, patay sila. Talagang lalabas na hindi nila binasa or na misconstrue nila. Okay, so kami, nagbabasa talaga ng mga ganyan libro, kinu-quote namin, nilalagay namin sa peer-reviewed publications, mga yan. Ayan, titignan nyo kasi mga yan, mga kameta, huwag kayong dyan sa mga mga scammer boys. Mga naman dyan. Baka mga 3 to 6 months na naman tayo dyan. Alright, so basahin nyo naman mga dyan. In fact, if you want even a more elemental understanding of how political order is created, I think Francis Fukuyama's first volume of this 2-volume book was very, very helpful. Although, of course, he's just one of many great thinkers out there. And, of course, his works also have come under criticism. Hindi naman 100% correct yung sinasabi niya parati, di ba? But pretty well researched. In fact, he won one of the highest prizes in social sciences, political science, for his book. For a more modern application, of course, you can check this one, the second one, diba? Yung political order and change. Again, basahin ng totoo, hindi yung lang, Ito, nakikita niyo mga markado lahat yan, okay? And I use them for some of my, classes, etc. And, just to make it clear, I've taught in the top universities in this country, right? In different positions, assistant professor, associate professor / senior lecturer, etc. All of these kinds of positions, all right? So, please lang, yung mga ibang vloggers dyan, medyo okay? Bago di ba? At hindi madadala sa trash talk lang mga bagay-bagay, alright? Natatawa nga ako yung iba talaga naging comedian lang dapat talaga sila, no? Alright. Hanggang natatawa talaga pa. You wanna trash talk me, man? Look in the mirror first before trying to trash talk me. Okay, anyway, I can go on and on and on, right? Yung mga sarili natin libro na umabot ng ilang pages yung mga references lang natin, alright? And by the way, dumaan sa review process yung mga yan, hindi yung mga blogger, lang, ha? Okay, now, natatawa rin ako kasi pag parliamentary tayo, may delikadeza, high quality leaders makukuha natin, talagang soap tayo dyan, the best ka na kanina lang guys, natawa ako. Kanina lang, bigla may news tayo. Exactly what we were warning about. Now, speaking of delicateza and high-quality leaders, ayan. Pumuposition na si... Ayan, nakauwi na from... Caribbean ba? Nasaan ba siya? Nagbakasyon si Kuya. Ayan, happy to come back na si Boris Johnson. Bojo in the house. Talaga, no? Kutob ko, pag naging parliamentary tayo, baka puro mga ganyan leader natin. Bojo 1 versus Bojo 2 versus Bojo 3. Kunyari lang alis na konti, pabalik agad mamaya. Ayan tayo. Ayan na naman tayo, bumalik na. Yan ang delikadeza, no? For anyone who has been completely out of this world, na hindi nila fina-follow, na sobrang sabog yung politics ng Britain, not only in the past 4 or 5 years, but for a very long time, alright? You're free to read the works of Perry Anderson, Eugenia. He has done fantastic, I think it's a book right now and an article in New Left Review. You can read, I can go on and on about it. I have Tory friends who are like screaming right now and so angry at the incompetence and all the sabog politics that they're having in their own party and like screaming for no more, please give it na lang to laborers, etc. Right? Listen to some Tory parliamentarians themselves, like really shredding their own leadership, right? Over the kind of sabog politics they have. So the idea that if you're parliamentary is biglang sobrang social, intelligent, etc. This is in the cradle of representative democracy, modern representative democracy of Westminster politics, and yet this is the situation they have today. So I'm not saying parliamentary is bad, all right? So only fools who don't understand what I'm saying, right, will think that I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying it's not a magic solution. It has its own complication, right? Diba? Parang love life lang. Kahit sinong may parang complication yan. So yung mga nagsabi, pag ganyan tayo, automatically maging Singapore tayo ganun. They don't know what they're talking about. And they're not looking at the real causal linkages. They're looking at best at correlations, weak correlations. They're not looking at the real causal linkages here, including the development of strong state institutions that can be done both in a presidential system, in a parliamentary system, in different, not even systems, forms of government, right? And as I said, you can be federal, parliamentary like Iraq. I don't know where that's going. You can be presidential, mixed presidential parliament like Taiwan. Obviously, we know where that's going. I can go on and on with different examples. Like Taiwan, obviously, is very successful. Korea, France, relatively similar system, and Turkey, very similar system. Turkey, South Korea, and France, and yet they have very, very different trajectories as countries on the economic level, on the political level, etc. So that tells you guys, form of government is not a very strong indicator, right, of transformation of the country or society. Like Vietnam has been the same communist regime for so long, but only recently it's booming big time because of its proactive trade and industrial policy. Yun ang hindi natin nakita sa mga vloggers na yan. Wala kasing alam siguro sa mga trade industrial policy, mga bagay, mga yan kung ano nung tinitwist nila dyan. Alright, so Bojo, Delicadeza, Bojo is back. Ayan na naman tayo. Now, since nagre-recap naman tayo mga kameta, pag-usapan din natin medyo yung nangyari na hindi natin na-recap. Kanina, nagte-trending ito online. Itong nangyari sa China, sa Chinese, ayan, yung mga fans ng China dyan, yung mga next Deng Xiaoping daw, yung mga ganyan. Yung mga tatay lovers. China, love, 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 yan. Tingnan, grabe yung nangyari sa China recently. Actually, parang naawa ako sa dating presidente nila, si Hu Jintao. Grabe yung ginawa sa kanya, yung pinaalis lang siya bigla. Tignan yung video, pinost ko sa Twitter ko guys, ipopost ko sa baba. Bigla na lang siyang pinaalis and nakaupo siya next to Xi Jinping dito. Tingnan mo yung at parang he's telling them something, ba't ako pinapalis? I mean, you could see what's going on there. Like that was weird. That was like shocking. We don't know what's going on. So there were like comparisons made to dictators, etc. I don't know what happened, right? I'm not saying we don't know exactly what happened, but it was really a weird situation. But the situation actually coincided with a big development in China. So very recently, I mean actually just over the past day or so, nagpasa ng bagong massive legal changes ang Chinese Communist Party kung saan Xi Jinping will be even more core to the party. And Xi Jinping thought will be core to the identity of the party. So challenging Xi Jinping means you're challenging the Communist Party now, essentially. In legal terms, not only political, but in legal terms. So we're seeing a massive consolidation of power there. And people are wondering, does this have to do anything about what was done to former President Hu Jintao, who actually picked Xi Jinping as his successor, right? And yung anak din niya actually was in the crowd as one of the delegates, the little Hu, na tinatawag sa kanya, na who could be one of the successor of Xi Jinping whenever Xi Jinping is ready to not be the leader anymore. But grabe, so this has been trending a lot online and people are still wondering what's happening. People thought there's a good relationship between these two presidents, and some people wonder, why would an elderly man, frail, like flustered, just be escorted out like that? So many people were like wondering what's going on. So there goes your China, yung mga pro-China dyan, mga beshies ni tatay, mga ganon, yan. Ay, tinanggal ko yung sarili ko tuloy. Wait lang tuloy. Yan. Panayin nyo muna yan habang binabalik natin sarili natin. Ang dami kasi, ang gulo kasi dito eh. Dun sa mga friends na sa YouTube, don't worry, ipopost din natin yan para makita niyo yung mga graphics, etc. Don't worry about this. Alright, so na medyo nag-recap tayo. There's of course so much more to discuss. Gusto ko sana balikan din yung issue ni Ma'am Lenny, right? No, she's a private citizen and ayoko yung ginagawa sa kanya minsan ng mga trolls and all. They'll just nitpick and try to find fault, etc. Hayaan niyo siya, let her live her life, and she deserve it after all those years of public service with no corruption, whatever, very transparent, very accountable. I want her to get the rest, etc. Pero may mga naiinis din, mga sensitive, overprotective dyan. Sabi ko, but Lenny can share her views and ideas on many things, including on Philippine film industry, on food diplomacy, etc. Because she's an economist. She's an economist. Lenny is an economist, right? And she has been a long-term public servant. So she knows a thing or two about how to develop our economy, etc. So she can share it in her own private capacity. After all, she's now in Harvard as a kind of semi-scholar, right? So I hope she uses her time there to make some good reflections, constructive recommendations about how the country moves forward beyond politics. For sure, mga trolls will try to twist things. But that's nga, meron ka ng platform, meron ka ng bosses. People, 15 million, when 15 million people voted for you, right? Etc. Then that means there's still many people who believe in you and would want to listen to you. And sometimes it's not even about partisans or whose parties or not. It's about getting the right ideas out. Yun lang yung sinasabi natin, di ba? So, kaya I made suggestion. Once in a while, Lenny maybe can write a book, maybe write a memoir, share her suggestion, etc. And yun nga. And in fairness naman sa kanya, nung time ng elections, she had many ideas that were thrown out there. But of course, syempre election time yan, very toxic minsan. Things get buried, the policy issues get buried in political, personal mudslinging, etc. But now na medyo relatively nag-lie-low ang situation, hopefully, we can have more intelligent discussions. I mean, former presidents, si President Duterte nga, di ba? Nasa eksena na, di ba? Sa PDP lawan, etc. Why not the former vice president too, di ba? Yun lang naman ang sinasabi natin. So, nakita natin, in fairness, Leni Robredo, she had policies and stance on a whole number of issues, including on how to build the Philippine film industry by drawing inspiration, Korean drama. And of course, we know that she herself personally was very much into Korean drama, etc. So yun lang sinasabi ko, no? So wala pa naman response kay Ma'am Lenny. She follows me naman on Twitter, so she knows what I'm saying, right? I mean, many follow me on Twitter. I mean, many, Okay. And naman tayo, matutroll na naman tayo. No, but let's see. Let's see what's going on there. Ako naman, I hope we don't have a situation whereby we have both a rudderless government and rudderless opposition. There has to be a leadership there, and leadership can come from multiple persons, not just some person. But yes, she deserves some rest, but she also has a platform and voice, and hopefully she'll use it for the best. Continue to use it for the best, for the best of the country. Yun lang naman sinasabi natin. Ayan na, yung mga trolls, atake na naman tayo. Go, 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 go. Alright. Pasalamat na nga ako sa inyo. Thank you very much sa inyong lahat, sa mga nagsuporta sa akin. Thank you very much dun sa mga kameta natin, sa mga bigay ng comments, nagbigay ng stars. Oh yeah. Yun din ang sinasabi ko, guys, by the way, na hindi naman kailangan mayaman na bansa ka para meron kang booming film industry. Turkey, right? Thanks dun sa mga nag-comment dito. Actually, Turkey has very, very good dramas. The Suleiman the Magnificent, right? Yung series niya, sobrang boom all around the world. Brazil, India, Bollywood, a country that has lower per capita income than the Philippines, is doing very well, right? So hindi lang siguro Korea, we should look at also developing countries, na hindi kasing yaman ng Korea, but are doing very well in terms of their film industry, etc. We can learn something from them. Alright, yun lang naman yung sinasabi natin dito. So let me thank very much, maraming salamat sa ating mga supporters all around the world, sa YouTube, sa Facebook, etc. Don't worry about it. Maraming salamat. Thank you very much.